Hey everybody, it's Dana, your favorite distance educating parent, coming at you live from Philadelphia today, where I am going to share with you my top 3 list of people that are pissing me off this week. Now, many of you may end up guessing what my number 1 is, but you may be surprised at a touching moment of empathy that I did have at the end. Number 3, police officers. Police officers, or as I like to call them, oath breakers, a term that I heard Tim Pool use and say that he was going to continue using, and I completely agree with him. These men and women swore an oath not to a city mayor, not to a health department secretary, not to, you get the point, to the Constitution. These oath breakers that are going into businesses under unconstitutional edicts for the purposes of shutting down businesses, middle class people that are trying to provide jobs and services and value to their neighborhood, to their own family, and to the families of those they employ. These oath breakers that are being sent to arrest them, well, in the day, tarring and feathering was an appropriate punishment for being an oath breaker, and I don't see any reason why that should change today. Now, my father was a cop for a very long time. It's not as if I haven't backed the blue, but I'm looking for them to hold the line, okay? They should not just be protecting politicians from an unruly public. They should be protecting a law-abiding, free-living public from unruly, draconian leaders and politicians. Number 2, who's getting on my nerves this week? Pastors that are shutting down their churches again. No! Have you learned nothing? Churches never had to shut down in the first place. You know, it made a lot of sense back when churches were, back in the early days when we were still 2 weeks into the 9-month shutdown to slow the spread. Back then, when we didn't know what this was, when we were looking at between 3 and 7% death rates is what we were being told by Dr. Fauci and the Birx team. It made sense for churches to shut down lest they put an elderly flock or any portion of their flock at risk. What we know now is that this primarily kills people that are well past the average age that people live to. So, yes. Can it have long-term consequences health-wise? Yes. Would you do best to avoid or minimize contact with an active virus if you could? Yes. What steps can we all take? Well, all the ones we've always been told to take. Eat good, healthy, fresh, whole living foods. Get outside for plenty of exercise and vitamin D. You know, those things we've been told. No, we haven't been told that. No. What we've been told is to wash your hands, slather in this disgusting, cancer-ridden gloop, and that will just dry your hands out to the and then that will just kill all of the germs, because the germs are the problem. It's not you, it's not your diet, it's not the fact that you're unhealthy, it's not the fact that you, no, it's the germs. You only have to worry about the germs. None of these other things are even relevant, so just forget about that. Pastors, come on guys, look at the numbers. You're men, right? Numbers, guys, some of you need to counsel your head pastors better. And if they're not listening to you, I hope the Lord leads you to break off into your own church. And if that happens to happen in and around the Philadelphia area, I do hope somebody will message me. the number one group that I am most annoyed with this week is anyone that works with children. Why anyone that works with children? Aren't you hating a rather broad stroke of society? Yes, as a matter of fact, I am, and let me tell you why. In talking with teachers and counselors over the last, and doctors, medical doctors over the last several weeks, I have come to one solid conclusion. Not one of them ever spoke up and said this is wrong. Not one of them went to administration and cited articles and spoke up about it and said, hey, let's lead the charge for developmentally age-appropriate education. Nobody said, hey, we really need to have somebody in charge of how these kids are transitioning and if they're doing okay, and someone in charge of their emotional health. Not just the one counselor that was always there for like the hardest cases, but like someone who just checks in with them from time to time. Maybe one per class. Maybe we can take teachers from subjects that are less vital during times of national pandemic and use those teachers to be counselors and or additional aides in the classroom. There is a reason that so many children are failing, and it's real nice of teachers to try to blame parents, but they've always had the same parents. Just throwing it out there. I mean, if little Johnny's been a dick since day one, well, little Johnny's dad probably beats him. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we're at now, huh? But that's not the case, is it, folks? It's time to start speaking up. It's time to start making noise. And it's time to start asking the people that we have back the blue. It's time to ask them to hold the line. And it's time to hold them accountable and take them to the mat when they're not. I feel the same way about people that should have been speaking up for children. The parents have been trying and we have been ignored. And this is what happens. I would ask anybody that agrees with me in any way to please like this video so that more people will see it. Thanks so much. Bye.